Okay, everybody. You have been asking repeatedly, how do you do a home haircut? I'm going to go through the entire setup first. This is a lot more complicated than it looks to do this properly. You will notice that I definitely need a haircut. First thing, you need a good set of clippers. Again, this is all aimed at a guy. You need a good set of clippers. I have a wall set of clippers here. These are Precision Premium Smooth Cut with several attachments. You need a good pair of barber shears. You cannot get these for less than 20 bucks. Get a good pair. Look at the reviews on Amazon. Okay, so I've got my equipment, I've got my attachments. I'm going to show you a couple of things. With the wall clippers, you will notice on the side that there is a little tiny X. That's for adjustment. Your little brush that comes with it, you use this to turn it. You turn this and loosen it, and what you'll get is you'll get a clatter as you loosen this up. Hear that clatter? You want that clatter to just go away. You're adjusting for the electrical system in your house. Not everybody's running on exactly 120 volts. Make sure you get your cats out of the room. Cats like to help. This is Maggie. Maggie's not going to get the help. Goodbye, Maggie. Now, with the cat out of the room, I'll show you a few things about the setup. I've got two mirrors here. One's on a door, one's on my medicine chest. You're going to need one behind you to see the back. However you set that up, figure out a way where you've got the mirror nice and stable. I have got a sheet on the floor to catch the hair. It's a lot easier than cleaning up all the hair on the floor. Again, not as simple as it looks. So I don't start with the scissors. The scissors are last. The first thing that I do is get my attachment. I'm going to start the way that I've told you to do this online in a couple of threads. I'll start with the number 5 attachment, and that'll be long enough so that I can't screw things up. So literally, I mow the lawn. Now you start a few inches back from the front. Do not go directly into the front of your hair as you do this. You'll notice that's not taking much off. That's okay, because what you're doing as you go through this is you're practicing. The lever on the side will extend or retract the comb. I've got this fully retracted. Number 5 is, as you can see, very long. You can't see that much of anything has happened. I'll go from the back to the front, again staying about 3 inches behind the front. I can keep going through the sides, and literally this is a do no harm type of cut. If this is all you want to do, you can use the number 5 and keep things under control. But you will not have a good public cut. So this is what you get with the number 5. You can see it's fairly long. If I put my fingers under it, you can see that it is a little bit above finger length. It's a nice, safe length where you haven't screwed anything up. Nothing's been damaged. And again, you can comb it through, top to bottom, bottom to top, trim it, and you can walk away from it just like this, if you wanted to. If I take this and I comb it back in, what you'll see is that I have something that, while it's not great, it is not a crew cut, but it's passable. Especially for Zoom meetings, it's like, here I go, I've got something that's passable, I can walk away from it. However, you gotta do this right. Take the number 5 off. And for me, I don't use the number 5. It's longer than what I want, but it's the length most guys cut their hair at, or would cut it at. So for the sides, I go to the sides next, like the sideburns, the goatee. I use a number 1 for that. And again, I've got the extension all the way down. I don't have it up. I've got it all the way in. And I just take it to the sides like this. Now you'll notice that's not blended in. You'll see that that's not blended in at all. I will do that later. I will literally do that last. You're like, oh my God, this isn't blended. You can tell. I'll blend that later. And this is how I trim my beard. I like to keep it short. Also, for guys, I'll take this and I'll extend it out with the lever. When you extend it out with the lever, put your finger behind it. I put my index finger behind it to hold it. I use it on my eyebrows. And extend it out, the number 1 does very little except take the extra long hairs off the eyebrows. That's all it does. Very, very simple stuff. I'm noticing we're already 6 minutes into this. What I'm doing will take you at least 2 or 3 times as long. If you ever watched Martha Stewart do her stuff, it takes 2 or 3 times as long to do this the first time. I have popped all the way down to a number 3. Now this is my haircut and how I do it. So I'll literally comb around the ear and down. Comb around the ear and down. This is why I didn't blend this. This will start blending itself. I've got the lever all the way retracted. Same thing here. And down. Then you'll notice you've got an unblended spot here. Do not worry about these. As you go through this, it will take care of itself if you follow these steps properly. I like to, like I say, mow the lawn. I'm going to do reverse angle. I'm going to come up from the bottom and go up. I'm going to do the same thing here. Again, the lever's all the way retracted. Come down from the bottom and go up and get that hair. Pass over as many times as you want to. You should have something where you don't have a lot of hair sticking up and out when you're done doing this. I like to do a little bit here, just in the front. Just a little tiny trim up at the front here. And you notice this is starting to look like a real haircut. Okay, now the back. This is how I do the back. I am looking in the mirror as I'm doing this. Got my mirror set up so I can see the back. Let me show you how this looks to me. I can see the back of my hair without a problem. So I'm going to do the back now. I've got the number 3 on all the way in, and I'm going to go up. But I'm only going to go up part way. Now this is one reason why you go over with a number 4 first, or a number 5 even, is you take a lot of the hair off. Now I'm starting to blend in as I go. I'm going all the way from the bottom, all the way up. With my hair, it struggles going through this. When I get to the top, I pull it back like this. So I'm not cutting the top of my head. I'm stopping at the crown. And yes, I'm ambidextrous. So I just switch over. And I'm blending in as I go, just a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, how is this all going to come out? And I'll show you. The number 4 cutter for me is what finishes the blend. And if you're doing this yourself, this is not as easy as it looks when I'm doing it. I'm used to doing this backwards. So it's going to, again, this is going to be far slower when you're doing it yourself. If you're doing this for your first time, at this point you would grab the scissors, shut these off. I don't do mine this way. You grab the scissors and you go across the back and trim it. You would get that trim straight across the back and you'd be done with the back. And it is the safest way to do it first, is to trim it that way. I'm not going to do that with mine. Again, not recommended for at home. Not recommended for your first time. Use the trimmers without a guard on it all the way down. This is a great way to cut yourself if you're not used to this. So I shape it in the mirror. I get the shape that I want, and I make sure that I don't go up too high. Shape it, make sure that it looks right, shave down. Again, better off with scissors, or even somebody with a razor is easier than this. But once you're used to it, as I am after 30 years of doing this, actually 37 years, this is easy. This is the part where, when folks look at the back of my hair, they're certain I went in and had somebody else do it because they don't think this is possible. I've done this literally thousands of times, so it's easy. Now, what I do is I trim behind the ear. Snap off those little things that are in the way. You'll see a few of them, and you snap those off. Snap off anything that's coming over the way that it shouldn't. Any little extra ends. I'll do the same on this side. You won't be able to see this as well, or maybe you will be able to see it as well. Pull the ear back, and when you're working on somebody else's, make sure you're pulling the ear out of the way.